Welcome back. Yes, it is the press. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, this is where we start our discussion, and I'm glad to let you know that my guests are already seated. Now, on the 13th of June, Friday night, the people of Benue once again were visited with mayhem, massacre, death, and bloodletting as over 200 or thereabout citizens were killed. And of course, this morning we shall be taking a look at Benue, the unending crisis in that town, the unending killings in the state is what is in our hearts this morning. And, you know, like I've said on the show again and again, we pray for peace in Benue, but Nigeria just have to get it right, finding out the root cause of the problems in Benue and finding the solutions to ensure that peace and not mayhem is restored to that state. I have two gentlemen who are friends to the house. They are my friends, and of course there are no strange faces on the press and other programs on Captain Television International. And this morning, to do justice to our discussion, is my guest, Duke Alambonye, is a social affairs analyst, is also the president of Nigeria Youth Organization and chairman Green Assembly Initiative. He is right here with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, Duke, it's so nice to have you.
Happy Democracy Day.
In arrears. It's been a while.
Yes.
It's been a while. So nice to have you. Well, Duke is not the only gentleman and friend on the show this morning. I have Hassan Sardauna, is a public and political analyst, is a husband, a father, and a farmer. Hassan, it's so nice to have you on the show this morning.
Anere and entire crew of Kaftan, once again, good morning for having me this morning. And with like what my friend and brother said, happy democracy in arrears.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's so nice to have you gentlemen today, but we're about to take a look at a very sensitive issue as we talk Benue bloodbath, cross-border manhunt for killers, as well as Tinubu's planned visit. We want to take a look at its effect. That is our analysis this morning. A lot is going on in Benue. With the latest development, we want to see how far-reaching this latest, contribution of the police and the army combined together to do a cross-border manhunt for the killers of the present killings that took place on the 13th in Gumi local government area. But before we begin that, we are first and foremost Nigerians. I want to start with you, Duke, by asking the state of the nation, your state of mind this moment.
Well, what we want to say, a very sad moment in our country. Government is trying to push and activities is trying to push. It's a mixture of bad feelings and good feelings. We have just celebrated Independence Day peacefully, as it were. We've had the push from the president to the legislation to the judiciary on how they would join hands to move our country. We've had the president told us what Nigerians are going through is just within this period of time. There's future better things ahead of us. He has pleaded with Nigerians to calm down. That is one side that was supposed to trail us into a better, brighter future or look ahead. And suddenly, the killers have begun to also perpetrate their own evil activities. It's sad. So to me, the country is put into a stage of where I don't know how to really describe it, but the country is sober. We are not in war. So after 2-3 days, you hear killings here, killings here, killings here. Irrespective of the strength the government is trying to put, the resources they are trying to put, the human capacity they deploy into all of this, we see the system still getting worried.
So thank you, Duke. So Hassan, your state of the nation, your state of mind on the state of the nation this moment.
The state of the nation is not far from what we are seeing. What we are seeing and what we are hearing and what has been happening and occurring in the Nigerian nation in terms of especially security wayward and that of economic crisis. People are not happy, but they knew that government are doing their best within their ranks. And it is not a duty of only government to bring peace and harmony within the societal or communities in Nigeria. We as a populace, we have to join hands, put each and everybody hands on decks to make sure that we have gotten a result by helping the security or the government of the day to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians at large. Because if it is Zamfara yesterday, day before yesterday it was Sokoto, and this morning it is maybe Borno, and in the afternoon you will be here of Plateau, and in the evening you will talk of Benue State. And these things are coming in series, as if it is a planned attacks. If you look at it very well, when the government and their security agencies are putting more effort in Sokoto and Zamfara, and the next thing, the Boko Haram was trying to resurrect. And when they are putting more energy now in Borno or Northeast to make sure that they curtails the menace, I'm just telling you what we have seen. The next thing was Plateau in Mangu and other part of Plateau State. When they were putting things in order in Plateau State, you were hearing just now about Benue State. So in this situation, we have to pray, work hard, and assist the government and let the government do enough for people to believe them. Let me tell you something. One of the problems that we are facing, there is no reward. When we say a reward, anyway, you must know that rewards is of two categories, either a positive or a negative reward. That means there must be punishment. If there is no punishment for those who are psychophans, those who are anti-progress of Nigeria, and those who are sabotaging, and they're supposed to be dealt with and penalized, then definitely those who are on the board to do the same thing will not stop. So in this situation, it is a time of sober
reflection. Thank you, Hassan. Now, Hassan more or less is started by talking about reprieve. And when we talk about reprieve, punishing those who are perpetrating these crimes against humanity, as it were, causing so much insecurity in Nigeria, this country flowing with bread and butter with honey on the streets. You know, that is Nigeria. You know, when you talk about heaven, for me, growing up in Nigeria, this is heaven. Nigeria used to be the heaven, not just for citizens, but a lot of people who came in here. I try to explain to people that going to school as a child, I was like an international student because it was different colors. I went to school with Pakistani, Americans, the English, just name it. I had Ghanaians, I had all colors in my class. We come out to play, you think, you know, we're abroad. We had teachers, we had foreign teachers come to teach us here. History shows that once upon a time, Saudi Arabia, people come from Saudi Arabia to UCH Ibadan for treatment. Are you talking about our educational system, one of the best in the world? One can go on and on. You finish secondary school, you have a job waiting for you, you have a car attached to your name. But those seem to be days past, and this is a reality that we have. But this morning our focus is Benue. Duke, I want to ask you, talking about reprieve, now the police and the army have come together, they've joined forces to chase after those who did the latest killings. I'm asking you, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the strategy will be changed. I'm just asking, did we need to have this happen on the 13th for the Chief of Defense Staff, for the IG, for over now the President planning his visit tomorrow for, you know, for the attention or the beam for Benue to be made as huge and big as it is now?
Well, first of all, let us not forget to sympathize with the people of Benue State.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. There is no war in the state. But what is happening is seeming like there is war. It's only in war you hear thousands of people, hundreds of people are killed. Not when it is clashes or whatever you want to call it. So we sincerely, from the depth of our heart, condole with them. In fact, I will be taking a trip to Benue State to make that call myself under the youth demographic. So I have no plans to go into Benue State directly to commensurate with
the
them.
people.
Yeah, be it as it may, I want to say categorically it's a failure of the security architecture of Benue State. Now, where are the DPOs in Benue State? The area, Mangu, I think, Mangu, the community, is a developed place. At least I know Mangu in Benue State. It's not where you think that people can just come in randomly and shatter lives of people just like that. So when I had this news, the first thing that came to my mind, please, where are the DPOs? The DPOs are the closest security personnel to the people. And the reason why they've stationed DPOs in rural areas and communities in LGAs is because of this initial intelligence gatherings, solving issues within that. When it's escalated, they can now call in a reinforcement. So my first question is, where are the DPOs? What are the details of the DPOs in all of these killings we're hearing? Are DPOs not existing again? It is a deliberate act to cite a police station in every localities. In my local government in Rivers State, I think we have one in my community. Almost every community, strategically, police stations are placed, manned by DPOs. So what happened? What is happening? They've all drifted into major roads and forgotten their first duty to the country. So it's a failure of security architecture in the states. Let us not even go into the political aspect of it, which is very, very, very worrisome. As it is today, the Secretary to the Federation his state is boiling. Have you heard any statement from him? As it is today, the governor that receives security votes is crying, not knowing what to do in the state. He's terrible. So this has gone beyond meetings. This has gone beyond meetings. Where are the traditional rulers? How did infiltrators come into your community? Where are the local vigilantes? So the duties they have now is to collect monies on the streets from vehicles, Okada, Keke. Just travel by road and see what is happening.
In Benue.
You see so many roadblocks as though they are protecting lives and properties. It is a busy terrain for them to extort monies from. Either your tire is bent, your wheelchair is not did this, that. Unnecessary frivolities. Leaving these communities open. Sorry, please. I'm passionate about this.
Yes.
That's why I'm starting our discussion from there. We must tell ourselves the reality. It does not take the president to go to Benue to end the problem. It does not take the CDS or the IGP to go to Benue to stop that problem. It takes concerned, real, genuine Benue people to stop the problem, and it can be stopped. So it is sad. We must, of course, address the cause of that issue. Who are the authorities? Security vote goes in billions, in trillions in a year. What are they
doing with it?
Some governors do not even buy a vehicle for security agencies in the state. Not even one vehicle. The whole of 8 years, they will never even buy one vehicle to aid security agencies.
Okay, I want Arsen's reaction to some of what you have said. Again, Duke has mentioned the political aspect of the situation. He has also talked about, asked the question, how the security architecture is broken down in Benue, asking where are the DPOs? And of course, these are some of the germane questions that we are asking. He has also asked that where are the traditional rulers? But again, the CDS, while hosting journalists, did say that from what he met on ground and from the intelligence that has been gathered, there seemed to be a compromise somewhere, a compromise within the people. You asked a question about community activity and community responsibility for what is happening in Benue, because of when they got on ground and they saw the mayhem, they were speechless at the destruction of lives and property that they witnessed. So I would really want you to take off from what Duke has said. Do you agree with some of the things he has said, or you want to add to that?
Okay, definitely there are 1 or 2, 3 things that one must have to know. In Benue State, don't bring maybe a religion crisis. Never talk of an ethnic crisis. Their crises are more of internal and political crisis.
Thank you.
This is the reality about
internal and political
crisis.
Can you please help break those two down?
Thank you.
In your own words.
I just recently, I'm borrowing the word of the governor, that is Reverend Alia. He said some people are sitting in Abuja to be creating crisis in their states just because of their selfish interest. It's an internal crisis. In the other way, when you go to expand it, where it becoming political, they are doing that for them to shift their political ground. For example, he has just mentioned the SGF. The SGF in Benue State is the #1 citizen because he's even ahead and bigger than the state, being a secretary to the government of the federation. He said he has not made any statement. I too, I have not had it. I don't know whether you had the...
No.
So what we are trying to say, we know the crisis that come in between him and the present governor, which he was one who brought the present governor. What we are having in common sense in terms of dealing with political crisis, when you go to every state, most of the crises that are coming in, the political godfathers normally have a crisis between them and the people that they brought in power to maybe succeed them or whatever. For example, this thing have started around 2003 or somewhere when Adedibu asked the State House of Assembly to remove Ladoja. Do you remember? Just because of the 16 million security vote that he normally collects. And now I want to tell you how much are they collecting, the governors. They are collecting about 3 billion and up. No state is collecting less than 3 billion security votes. And if you come to what Mr. Duke is saying, what are they doing in terms of reducing or curtailing this menace? One, the governor security architect must be there because he has been given money to deal with those type of things. He should do it within his level. Secondly, when we set internal problem, the internal problem affect the 3 tiers of government, that is the federal, state and the local government. The Constitution of Nigeria have stated that these 3 tiers of government must be functionable. And in Nigeria, the 3rd tier of government, which is local government, is not functioning, it's not existing. The governors has taken everything all. Where you are talking about this thing happened in Guma local government in Benue State. If you are talking of Guma local government, if the chairman have that very forces of when there is no local government that in Nigeria that is collecting below 300 million naira as of now because of the subsidy removal, and if with Guma, which I know very well is a big local government, they may collect about 500 to 700 million, and if you will pay salary and the remaining works, if anything is happening in terms of security sensitivity, he can create a committee broader, bring the traditional, bring the serving maybe secretary or vice chairman, his members of legislators, that is councillors, as a committee, and the community leaders, youth and women, so that if there is any movement of a new face or any movement that is dubious, they will just signal and identify, and these vigilantes will going to be will going to be protected and be what we control and supported by the local government chairman and others. But in this situation where something will happen like Guma, you can call the chairman to send a 20 or 30,000 for maybe the police division or somewhere for a foil. He can tell you there is no money because he is not collecting a penny. All the governors have taken over the functions and everything of local government. If you are talking of that, that is the sign of where we have an internal problem that deal with national constitution, where there is a breach of constitutional powers that have made a local government to be one of the tiers of government. When you talk of the political reason, where they will bring ethnicism and some reasons. If I heard the governor just recently saying something that it seems that the attackers are foreigners. From where? If you are coming from Niger or Cameroon or from Benin Republic or Chad, the number of people that will come and make these atrocities, at least there must be a movement. You come through Borno, come to Adamawa, down to Gombe, Bauchi, Plateau, and then enter Nasarawa and down to Benue. Nobody will see them. Then the security architecture of Nigeria, we call this a total failure of
It's exactly what Duke started with, you know. Like the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, has called for communal or community support, just like what Hassan has said, that, you know, people come in from all the states into Benue. The community should know the strange faces. Those that they know, they definitely will see the strange movement and make readjustment by informing the police or informing the vigilantes that, you know, there are strange movements, there are strange people, and of course they should take those reports very seriously. So you also started by letting us understand that there is a solution to the Benue killings and massacre. We talk about security architecture. We've talked about Benue forever and ever, the insecurity, the killings in Benue. But what we're looking for is the solution, as it were. Of course, on the news, we did hear that some people were arrested recently, you know, armed in a bus. Going into Benue State, they were caught, about 33 of them or so, if I'm correct, with ammunition. That is a kind of communal involvement and communication that we were talking about. But let us, because of time, you did say that there are solutions. There is a solution in bringing a stop to the killings in Benue, and we would love you to share those ideas with us.
It's okay. Firstly, intelligence gathering. I'm very close to security, and I'm aware that I am saying this with all form of responsibility. Politicians do not take intelligence gathering. They don't see it as anything. If you gather intelligence, what is the relationship between governors, local government chairmen, and their security architecture? They come to become one when politics is near. After you've become governor, what is the relationship between the director of DSS in your state, the commissioner of police, the civil defense, other
even immigration,
even the immigration, military? What is the relationship you have with them? What are the security meetings, periodic security meetings you have with them? None. So we are not proactive to these occurrences. We allow them to linger. But I know that the DSS is well positioned to, if you work closely with the DSS, you will know that there are lots of intelligent reports, but execution needs people connection. Not only people connection, local people connection, involvement to click into those intelligence and cram them in their pieces. If, for instance, a first victim, a first host enters the community, let us even assume, Alhaji, that there are not many. One had destroyed us, one, family 2, into family 200. There was no security report. These activities can take place in hours. So the first point of solution is absolute connection with the political class and the security class. Around the country, there is no place that these vices are taking place that people are not aware. The people that carry this thing out are human beings. They use human-oriented facilities. They use vehicles. They use phones. So where are we not getting it right? Number 2, communication link. Communication link. everything still boils down to the state government. I'm not bothered about federal government. Look, the president cannot sit in Abuja. He has done his best. He has posted all the service chiefs to the state, to the
various states. More money than ever.
Giving them more money than ever. So if you recall, in the first instance when this was happening, he spoke to Plateau and Benue, I'm sure. Please, they should put their house in order. Because he has provided everything. Okay. He has provided. Well, so now, lastly, the solution is...
We need more solutions from you. We don't want you to give all of it to us right now, because we want to take a short break. We'll give Hassan a chance to tell us some of the solutions and come back to you to finalize on the solution. But we'll take a short break. When we return, the phone lines will be open so you can call in and be part of the conversation. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back. The conversation is getting heated and we want you to be part of that conversation right about now. As you see the phone lines on your screen, it is time now for you to call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at the Benue bloodbath. It's something that has happened too often and we're tired of talking about Benue. Benue, beautiful. I've been to Benue once at the invitation of Bongo Sikwe. I went there as a journalist and, you know, beautiful place, the food, wonderful, the fruits, the basket of the nation. I was really happy when I visited. It was peaceful. I had a wonderful time. But what is going on in Benue now is something that is worn too often, and the tears must stop, so the bloodbath. We have our first call this morning, our first caller. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Austin calling from Kaduna.
Please go ahead.
I'm Austin calling from Kaduna.
Austin, please go ahead. Go ahead, Austin. We can hear you.
Okay, first I want to thank you. I want to thank the important TV of the kind of program. I want to be very clear that there are two players here. They have shallow understanding of what is happening in the state.
Okay.
They don't understand it in total.
Okay, can you help us on this? Explain what's going on there.
Going on in Benue. Yeah, there's an agenda. The agenda is between the headers and the local farmers.
Headers and the local farmers.
They come to my land and they want to take over my land. Now, you come to my land, you are grazing, even though there is anti-grazing law, you are grazing on my land. And then, now and then, you destroy my farm produce or farm products. That is not enough. You go ahead to kill my people. And then you tell me that the other man there, the one in is saying that it's in favor of the state government. If you want to be blame on government, be on the government entirely, not just state government. Yes, security vote is going to the state government, but the federal government will have the role to play. Now, you make mention of DPOs, the regional police offices in all stations. How many AKs for the do now? I want you to tell that one of them almost like 2 decades. Where are they taking it from? And this is because they couldn't delay him. People. There is an agenda. They want to take over local communities so that they can graze, because they say the land is so tight to them. So just come on air and begin to say it is in Ghana. What is in Ghana then? Yes, there might be problems between Akun and Alia. But that was what we are not to be respect. So please, if you are coming on air, say your facts very well before you analyze. Don't just analysis. I think it's
Is the opinion just like you have yours? Is the opinion? Everyone is entitled to his opinion. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, so there we have our first caller, who obviously is from Benue State, and he says that the situation in Benue is headers.
Yes. Let me.
I really love Assam since we start.
Okay.
So he says it is the situation in Benue is not political. It has nothing to do with the analysis that's been given so far. That it has to do with headers coming in to destroy crops and killing people, that there is an agenda to take this local government because of the lush green land that they met.
Okay, I heard him very well, and it can be what he is saying, that it's a headers or whatever, but what we are talking about, these headers have not done it in the daytime. They did it maybe in the night. It was overnight they came and do this. And what we are talking about here, there is no reward, that is no punishment. If the headers were going to be arrested, they should be punished. Let me tell you something. I'm a Fulani by tribe. And there was a summit sometimes around 10, 11 years back. I told some of my brothers in the summit that, look, these young men that are coming up, or these crises that are coming up, and it is tallying with identifying Fulani's headmen. And times will come very soon if these things have not been stopped. As a Fulani man, you cannot enter certain places. And today it is true. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, Fulani, some of them that are coming from maybe Kano, Katsina, Zamfara and others, and Kaduna said where they are talking about this crisis, they will tell you that their cows have been finished with just because of maybe a kind of psychopathy between maybe the judiciary, police and other people. They have finished. This thing has been, I had the program sometime back here in even Berkete Family Human Rights Radio. But what we are trying to say here, it is not enough for a Fulani man, just because somebody have maybe stolen your cows or something happened in between when you are grazing, you have eaten someone's food, yes, destroying the people's farms. It is not enough when you have been taken to court or whatever. Later you should come and kill people. Life is more better than anything. So it is not justification. There is no justification in telling me that Fulani should kill because of maybe they destroy land and farms and somebody have taken them to court. Instead they should pay 50,000, they pay 5 million. It's not enough to kill. Then secondly, where he failed to understand, we are talking in a very big way that, look, the state architectural security are not working because enough money are being given to checkmate all those type of things. And that is why we are talking, we have even discussed about the 3 tiers of government. If they were going to do what is supposed to be done, all this crisis will come down by what? Punishing who make a mistake and rewarding who has been cheated. This is what we are talking about.
Rewarding who has been cheated.
So the Duke that is talking, he has not, is saying an opinion that the state should come more. The DPOs who are divisional police officers, maybe should be more vigilante, more, they should gather an intelligent report. And that is why when he said SS, that is the DSS, are working, because you can, if you know them very well, there is no time that they cannot submit a report. Only if the report is not being taken serious. Madam Anire. So in this situation, we are not saying the security architects are not doing well, but they should do more enough so that people will feel that yes, they are doing within. And the community, that is why on my own side, I said the community and everybody must put hands on decks so that we will help the government. But why? We are not patriotic. We must have to sacrifice. When we are talking about sacrifice, I told you that I'm a Fulani, but I made a statement that maybe my brother Fulani who is feeling that he is being cheated, or I might be an odd family among them. You understand what I'm trying to say? We must have to come in and call a spade by putting things in order. Between one to be just and egalitarian, it takes enough to have a peaceful and what will I call it, a smooth society that can grow.
Yes, we have a call. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Men and women on platform. I appreciate it.
What's your name, please?
I'm Abaseko. I'm calling from Gombe State.
Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Sincerely speaking, I fear for the future of the children, the youth, and our country.
Please, can you put your phone close to your mouth, please, so we can hear you properly?
That ought to be the future leader of this country.
Okay.
Are being killed in their prime. Then where are we heading? I just want to add here that the security architecture of this country has problems. Why am I saying this? Because there are certain formations or departments that are supposed to take care of vital key areas. They have failed. I'm telling you sincerely speaking, they have failed. And that is why you continue to see bloodbath in Borno, bloodbath in Benue, bloodbath in Akwa Ibom, bloodbath in Anambra, bloodbath in Benue, in Jos. Unless the architectural structure of this country is redefined, we have psycho farms. We have psycho farms in the military, in the police. What do I mean by that?
The betrayals.
They have informants that feed these miscreants with information until we start fishing out the bad eggs and then fishing out the bad hen that lays the egg. We'll continue to have this problem.
Okay, so we have that caller saying, another angle to our discussion, that there are bad eggs in the police and the military who feed these people with information. That's why this problem in Benue, not just Benue, but across the country, in terms of breakdown in security architecture, will continue. But you wanted to react to what the first caller said, or the second one?
The first caller was just being sentimental.
Okay.
He's just being sentimental. And I'm sure, I want to give it back to him, he does not know anything about security. What he is saying, that because there's a motive to taking particular people's land, there should be this mayhem, there should be this killing. What he is saying, that the DPOs don't have a role to play in what is happening. If there is a fight in the community, in those days, a communal fight between two people are handled by the traditional rulers. When it escalates more than that, they take it to the DPO. The DPO handles it. That is all. Difficult is hard before you take a matter even to the CP. That's how powerful the DPOs are positioned
in the community.
In the communities. If the federal government has sent all these persons to your state, paying them enumeration, what does it take for a governor to pick out from his security vote, check properly is the security architecture in the state, and then work with it? Amechi did it in Rivers State. Rivers State was
just hold on a moment.
Rivers State was eating up at the time Amechi became governor, with bombings, blasting of pipelines, and whatever in the state. Amechi brought all the security architecture. Every day, that was even creeks. Every day, Amechi was going creek to creek with the CP, the DSS director, all the architectures. And that was how he solved it. What are we talking about? You want Tinubu to come to Benue State before the crisis will stop in Benue State?
Let us take this call, Mr. J. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, this is Abdul Kadir calling from Abuja.
Okay, Abdul Kadri, please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, it is really saddening that this is happening at this time in this country after many years of independence. But in my submission, I think I want to link all this to this issue of insecurity to lack of education in the country. Has not been taken so serious.
Okay.
On this basis, I want to, in my own way, I think it's high time the federal government make education compulsory for each and every individual. Parents must ensure it's no longer a privilege that a parent should either decide to take his ward to the school or not. Let it be made compulsory for each and everybody to go to school. Because by the time one is well informed, one cannot just come and use the brain and ask you to hold the gun and kill innocent souls like that without no any cost.
Thank you so much,
Because-
Abdul. Thank you so much, Abdul. Because of time, let us move on.
Okay.
Let me give Hassan the privilege to actually talk again as we try to look for a solution. Now, what Duke before Duke signed off on what he was saying is that we do not need Tinubu to visit Benue for there to be a solution. We all know that Tinubu is planning to visit tomorrow, Wednesday. He has called off his trip to Kaduna to visit Benue. We know the CDS is on ground. We know Egberto Kun, the IG is on ground, and of course all the military and police personnel, they're on ground, and of course he's visiting now. We're looking for solutions. Duke has said we do not need to get to this point, as it were. Of course, I would want your take on that. Balance that also with some of the calls that we've had as to find a way forward for Benue, solution for Benue to stop the killings.
I'm in support of his visit.
Okay.
Because it's our president.
Okay.
What am I saying here is that look at the president of America, US, left this early morning back to US from Canada when he's attending G7 because of the serious crisis that is going in Middle East. So what more or less of a president of a country when overnight over 200 people were massacred? And when he is going today, he's not just going for him to only see, but he will have a meeting with traditional rulers, security architectures in the state and the federal level. And I believe he will be here from the horse mouth, where he will going to maybe have a lot of routines and strategies of how to bring this menace down. I'm just saying that adding to what Mr. Dukes is saying, that let us have a very good understanding, mutual understanding within the community, security level, so that those who are in this evil's doing or evildoers should be punished. Let them brought to book so that everybody will learn a lesson. If these people are not going to be punished, I am just telling you, Anire, we will continue having this type of problems. But at least let the security, the government, fit every tier of government with their financial status so that the contribution will be eminent. It is not all the federal government can do. If you can collect 3 billion from federal government in Benue State, at least something must, let's see something on the ground so that federal government will put on.
Let us take this call. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where you calling from, please?
My name is Mr. Barnabas, calling from Taraba State.
Okay, Mr. Barnabas, go ahead. Go ahead.
The network is not friendly.
Okay, we lost that call. So we're talking solutions now because of time. Okay, it's calling back. Hello? Hello, Mr. Barnabas?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, good morning. What's your name? What's your name, please, and where are you calling from? You're calling from where? From Guarimpa. Please, can you put your phone close to your mouth so we can hear you?
Yeah, it's close. It's quite close.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, let me try to make it. There are two sides to this now.
Two sides. Okay.
Yeah. From looking at it from the angle of the governor of the state, he has actually done nothing.
Okay.
Apart from throwing blames around. I've been to the state a couple of times, driving myself through. And people have said from his end he has not done enough. He has tried to politicize the issue by pointing fingers. The same thing he can do as a governor to put a stop to this. The political side is that one is a smoke screen, actually, pointing at politicians now. That is a smoke screen. I don't think politicians will bring people from outside to kill, villagers and what have you, and at the end of the day, the state is crippled. Agato is still there. I hope, there's still problems there. Places are still occupied in those areas. They are still occupied. But you don't have much of that. Now, from the federal government end, one of your guests there is saying that the president has done enough. I don't think he has done enough.
Okay.
If you put in money, resources, you send men on ground, what is the result of all that? That is the question. They've not done anything useful.
this thing, first, it has to be intelligence-driven. The movement of these persons are known. The activities are known. The information is always there. 24 hours before some of these things happen, it is known. But you don't have men on ground to twat it. Because
okay, so he says there are no men on ground to twat it, that the information actually get to the people. So we're talking solution because of time. Hassan, what is your own contribution towards the solution to ensuring that these massacres are stayed?
So definitely there is one thing, Aneri, we must have to sacrifice. This sacrifice must be a must. That is by becoming patriotic in all ramifications, to know that we don't have any other country than Nigeria. If I'm from Benue, I don't have any other state than Benue State. If I'm from Goma, I have no any local government than Goma. Then if there are outsiders, that let us do everything humanly to make sure there are those outsiders. But what I want to tell you that the crisis of Benue State is beyond your thinking. People have been undermining it, but if I could remember the late Dr. Paul Onongo, if you know him, with blessed memory, one day there was a time when he was in the village, when they are saying, see headers coming. He said, nobody should run. Let us stop and repel these attacks. When they repelled the attacks, there was no any header. It is their brothers. It was their brothers. When you remember, there was one man called Ghana. You remember? He terrorized around Kazana, Allah and whatever. And immediately when he was arrested and killed, that time, everything stands still. There was no any chaos until later, after a year or two, then the chaos continued toward the election. Whether he likes it or not, the last caller, where he is saying that the politician cannot do that, the politician can do more than that. If you watch the film of this movie, Sitting 24, Jack Bauer, he knew the conspiracy of government. In a developed society, talk less of here. So a lot of people are doing to benefit. What is coming out from Zamfara? Is it not because it is a very world, what do we call it, gold mining? It has the highest gold we have in almost Africa by now. And that, if you go to one village called Bagega, by this wall of a house, you can realize gold in the standing building. So when we are saying things in reality, the people that are doing that, those are we call betrayals. Those who are sabotaging the nation economy, and they don't mind who will die or who will survive.
What's the solution?
The solution is, that is why I said we must put hands on decks. The government should involve everybody in the security architecture. There must be what we call community policy. Community policing is to involve everybody in finding the facts of tracking insecurity within every community. And if you will go to do that, nobody in Nigeria that doesn't want to live in peace, especially within the rank of communities in the village. You must know that now in Nigeria, in the social stratification of the living, there is no medium class. It's between the upper class and the lower class. And wherever there is no medium class, automatically this bridge is falling down. And that's what we are having today. The house is falling, and we have to come of edge and be careful. With every country today, there is no safe haven country in the world. Every country has its own type of crisis. So within us in Nigeria, let us understand that insecurity is playing the bigger role to destabilize Nigeria, both educationally, economically, financially, and whatever. So for that, let us bring ourselves together so that we can able to achieve our aims in a very nearby time.
Now, Duke, you actually heard what Hassan said. He pointed out something. And I want to use this analogy of Mungo Park coming in and telling the world that it discovered the source of the River Niger. And people said, no, there were people here when you came. There were people who carried the bags for you, who made tea for you in the morning. You asked questions, and they showed you
ways
where it was. The only difference was they couldn't write and you could write, and you wrote history and said you discovered the source of the River Niger. So that is what the picture is painted. We're talking about traitors. We're talking about an agenda. We're actually saying, like what Hassan said, people can come from Niger and other parts of Africa and just have easy access, and they know exactly where they're going, the communities they're going to, and they do what they want to do and get away with it without probably people within showing them where to go. We're talking a solution. I don't know if you agree to this, that, you know,
yes,
there's a compromise somewhere.
Yes, I completely agree.
There's some compromise somewhere.
The CDS.
Okay, so you were telling us solutions. So I want you to continue with
the CDS
with
is
your
the
own.
highest holder of intelligence, and he has said it that there's conspiracy. Solutions. Number one.
No, you're giving us two, so we're going to number three.
Number three. The governor should clean up all at this time. He should clean up all his political grievances with stakeholders. I'm sure that is what the president is going to Benue to do. Because the elites, the political elites in the state, if you see, they are quiet because of political traits between them and the governor. So the president today should give an outstanding instruction for that rift to clear in state. Most especially that it concerns his secretary to the government. That's number one. Number two, the governor should take security intelligence, local security intelligence, serious. I have made an example of Amechi when Amechi was governor. He took the local security intelligence to his heart, and within a month he was busy. If that is the only thing the governor would do for Benue people, let him do it. The boundaries, the ungoverned spaces, ungoverned spaces, and even within. That is where his submission came to my heart. They fishing out betrayers. People harbor these people for hours for them to even cock their gun, prepare themselves.
Exactly. Please, Duke, I want you to pause a little while while we take this last call for this moment. Hello, Jibril, calling from Abuja. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, to everybody. You see, what we are saying is trying to happen. This thing is not today. As earlier, I do tell you, democracy is the government of the people from the people to the people. What is security? Security. It is unrest. What causes this thing? The right thing is not being done in this government. We have seen that many elections, many this, many that, many this, many that, they have never punished anybody. You know, this is a part of thing you are seeing now. This thing in Benue you are seeing, it's not today. Right from some of the major tackle and all these things, it has been happening. I won election. Judiciary give somebody. I won election. You, the president, give somebody. Now the president is going to somewhere now to campaign for himself on 27 election, 2027. He's not going there for settling. You have seen many people are turning to APC. President himself says anybody can come from anywhere. Yes, you can do that, but the result, that's what we are seeing now.
It's strange. Thank you so much. It's strange because the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, actually said there's no trust. There's no trust among Nigerians, and there's no trust in Benue amongst the people. So he too has identified this. And imagine the caller saying,
"I'm just called now. I've already read the speech of the president. The session of the president when the president arrived. But this is what people. This is what you get from aggrieved people. they read meaning to everything because government needs to be sincere and transparent,
yes,
and all the time. So necessarily, I don't really blame when people sound this way. I keep quiet and assimilate it to self. So ways forward, as I was saying, a lot needs to be done. We are only using the Benue State Governor as a case study to order 36 state governors, including FCT. I want to also say again, at the time, insecurity was almost filtered in early days of Wike's appointment. All this, that. You see how it chased them away. So, as a governor, you don't just sit down and look. The governor should take this as his project. That look, I've dropped every other thing. I want to make my state secured, because an insecure space distracts so many investment opportunities and growth, everything. So whether, going back to the last one, whether it is herders and farmers war, whether it is community war, whether it's an unusual quarrel, whether it's an external forces, all put together, the governor have a role to play, and it should play those roles.
We don't have time, so let's round up. Yes, summarize, please. Yes.
The presidency, they are going there today. Please, I also want to plead that it should not be political.
Okay.
What we want to see is justice for Benue people. The perpetrator of this one should be brought to book and be punished by death sentence, so that it will serve as a detriment to people that want to do it.
Hassan, you have just 30 seconds.
Definitely, we have been talking and been saying things a lot in this place. We must put our hands together to fight this insecurity in Nigeria. It's not only a duty bound on the federal government, state government, or local government. We, the society, that is why we, the world created policy community, and it has been working. You can look at what happened just day before yesterday in Minnesota. The person that kills a senator and her husband was on a run, and they were hunting until when they get him yesterday, and they found more information that he was ready to kill many. And this happens because there is that patriotism, sacrifice to make sure that everybody who makes offense should be punished. Then punishment must be a reward, either positively or negatively.
I want to thank my guests this morning. I want to appreciate Duke Alabonye, a social affairs analyst, and Hassan Saldauna, public and political analyst, for being on the show and doing justice to the topic. Yes, this is all time will allow on the show. We also appreciate everyone who called in on the show to air their views this morning. We want peace for Benue. Stop the killings in Benue. I am Anne Pinite. Thanks for watching. Remember to make it a date tomorrow on The Press. Until then, stay blessed and bye from here.